Hi everybody, it's Lisa Steinkoff, the Houseplant Guru. I am coming today with straight hair because my next door neighbor was so nice to take me to my regularly scheduled hair appointment, and so I thought I'll jump on and do a video while this is looking good, because tomorrow when I wash my hair again, it's not gonna look like this. So, because I can't do my hair one-handed. All right, so we're going to talk about three things today. We're going to talk about drainage material and drainage in your plants. We're going to talk about humidity, raising humidity, and we are going to talk about drainage, humidity, and up-potting versus repotting. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing that drives me the most crazy is, which, a lot of things drive me crazy, is people telling everybody to use drainage material in the bottom of your pot. Okay, so like gravel, drainage material. So they think that that's going to assist with drainage, right? But it's not. So I actually have a textbook, so it's not just me you're believing that I'm not crazy. It says right here, soil scientists point out that water does not move easily from a fine textured soil mix down into gravel. Consequently, the presence of a gravel reservoir in the bottom of a container may actually increase problems of poor drainage above the gravel. Okay, so even I'm going to show you the picture, and they're showing you the gravel at the bottom of the pot and how that is not working. And it would be better to have the soil column all the way to the bottom of the container so your plant has more place for its roots to go. Okay, so there, it wasn't just me. I actually showed you some proof from a soil scientist. Okay, so, but everybody's like, what, it doesn't have any drainage. This glass container doesn't have any drainage. This clay pot has no drainage. Right? A lot of these pots are used now for orchids. So the orchids, they put those plastic pots in there with the orchids in them, and then you take them out and water them. So a lot of them don't have drainage holes in them. But you know how I fix that? I run out and I have this diamond tip drill bit. Can you see that? It's got diamonds on the tip. Woohoo! And it just drills a hole in a pot so quickly. You do have to have water. So I do this in the sink. I kind of put sponges under it so it doesn't get broken. I run the water and I use my handy dandy drill with my diamond tip drill bit. And I used to use a masonry bit, which does work. It just takes a lot longer, and I don't have time for that. So, and this is just much quicker. So, if you don't have and I think this actually goes through glass, but I have not tried that. I'll be honest. But I have not broken a pot doing this. So, I promise. That one did have a hole. This is the one I drilled, because you can tell I drilled it because it's not in the center. See, not in the center. So, but it works. And then. So a lot of people so you got that drainage hole, so then and then the other thing they use are these pot shards. Broken pot. We probably all have those, right? I had to go out and break this one up a little more. So they're like, put those in the bottom of your pot. But you know what? If it's flat, if it's not a concave, like the rim or the edge that's curved, it's still gonna lay flat over your hole. So I just say no pot shards, no gravel. I just simply use a piece of window screen. This is really big, so you could see it. A piece of window screen. I buy it in a roll. I cut it in a little circle or a little square, and I put it over the hole, right? Then I put my soil or my potting medium in the container. It doesn't, the soil's not getting through this, but the water is. Works perfect. Some people use paper towels. Some people use coffee filters. I found that the coffee filters didn't drain quick enough for me, so I just used the screen and it works great. Okay, so there we're talking about drainage. You do not need pot shards. You do not need gravel. You just need your potting medium. Now, and you need a good potting medium so that it will drain, and that drainage hole just draws the water through the container, brings oxygen in from the air. So let's say you have a container, though, that you don't want to drill a hole in it. I don't want to drill a hole in it. It was grandma's. It's an antique. It's worth money, whatever. So then you're going to take your plant in its plant pot that it came in, this nursery pot. This is obviously too big of a pot. You're going to place it in there. Looks great. Looks wonderful. Then you're going to take it out, take it to the sink, water it, let it drain, bring it back, put it back in the pot that doesn't have a hole, right? So then all's good. All's well with the world. So that's a good way to do it if you don't want to drill a hole. It's called a cache-pot, which means hide a pot in French. So it's hiding this unattractive, well, not so unattractive, but unattractive grow pot. Not decorative. Okay, so there we talked about drainage. Don't need it. Don't need pot shards. Use potting medium. Drill a hole. Don't drill a hole. Use it as a cache-pot. There, done. Next one, humidity. We have to raise our humidity. If you live in Michigan like I do, or any state where the the heater is going to go on pretty soon here. It's already October, almost October, and we're still using the air conditioner. But when the heat goes on, it's going to suck all the humidity out of the air, right? So a lot of people just go get this little spray box. You know what I use this for now? You guys have seen Henry, my little kitty. I don't like to use it, but he bites me, and he gets in my plants. So I'm just I just spray it. Really now I just shake it, and he runs. He's so cute. I just love him so much. Anyway, I would never hurt him, and I really don't spray him that much because I feel bad. But anyway, so a lot of people use this to just mist their plants. Guess what? You'd have to mist your plant every 15 minutes, 24 hours a day for it to do a lot of good. But if you like to do this and it makes you feel good and it's relaxing and it's nice, go for it. Go for it. But it's really not doing a ton for your plants. So what I do instead is here's my plant. I don't need to raise the humidity around the Sansevieria, but this is it's right here, so I'm going to use it. Here it is on its appropriate sized saucer, right? 4-inch pot, 4-inch saucer. So then I go out and buy this is like a 6 or an 8-inch saucer, and I fill it with those pebbles that you could use, that some people are still using for drainage that you don't need to, right? So I fill it. There it goes. I fill it. Then I'm going to get my watering can or / misting bottle that I don't need to use, and I'm going to fill it with water. So the water's just at the top of the pebbles, like that. Can you see that? I don't want to spill it too much. Oh, see, I'm spilling water already. Okay, then I'm going to set the plant that needs humidity, such as a fern, not necessarily a Sansevieria. Like I said, that's what I have here. I'm going to set it on that pebble tray, and then it's as that water evaporates, it's going to raise the humidity around this plant. And then you just keep filling the pebble tray with water. Now, let's say you don't, some people just would set it on there without the other saucer. That's fine, but just make sure your plant is not standing in water, or then you're going to have a rotted plant and you're really going to hate me. So I suggest you use that other saucer and set it on top of it, but you can do it the other way as long as the plant is not standing in water. Okay, so there's the humidity. Lose the mister, get the humidity tray out. And another little tip I want to tell you about is this thing. It's hard to see. It's in my first book. My daughter's like, why are we taking pictures of the heat vent that was really scratched and awful? Because it's called an air deflector. I'm going to cover up where I got it because I'm not advertising anybody. It's called an air deflector. So it covers up, as you can see, covers up your air vent. Because where are all the air vents? Under the windows. Where are all our plants? In the windows. So that heat is coming right up onto your plant, blowing it all over the place. Spider mites are hearing the dinner bell, ding, ding, ding. So this, you put it, it's just a magnet. It goes, if you don't, if you have the wooden ones or whatever, you could still set it on there. And then it deflects the heat and blows it away from your plants, off across the floor instead of up on your plants, causing even more humidity problems and lovely spider mites. Okay, so no mister. Unless it's really something that makes you feel good and you want to do it, but it's not really doing a ton of good. But if it works for you, remember, if it works for you, do the pebble tray and then go out. These are like $3 or $4. Huge difference in your plants. Okay, so last thing I want to talk about is up potting versus repotting. Okay, so at this time of year, it's fall, as we know, it's September, and we're starting to get, yesterday was the first day of fall, so now today we had less light than we had yesterday. And it's going to keep getting darker. So at this time, I wouldn't be up potting a plant. So what is the difference? So we're going to get back to my little Sansevieria again. I might have just bought him. Don't tell my husband. And it's so cute, isn't it? So I would want to put him in a prettier pot. I don't like red too much, and this doesn't do anything for me. I like pots, pretty pots. So this pot, I'm going to write a blog post about this too, and I will put the information about these. They're made out of cement, and it's a young man that lives here in Michigan. He makes these with a 3D printer. I love this one with the bee, looks like a bee, what do you call that? Honeycomb. There you go. So this is a little bit taller, so might be a little bit too tall, but it's not really any bigger around. So I would when you repot, you're simply switching out you're repotting it. You're not up potting it. If I were up potting it, and I would not do that at this time of year. That's what I do in the spring, unless it's a really, 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 really root-bound plant. Then I might up pot at this time of year. You're bringing stuff in from the summer, and it's just like overtaking the pot, and the roots are coming out, and you have to water it every day. Then yes, you probably could up pot it at this time of year. but as a rule, you don't. Okay, so I would not, so if I was going to up pot it, this would be a good size pot because it's one size bigger. Can you see that? It's just a little bit bigger than the pot it's already in. But at this time of year, I would not do that because it's slowing down its growth right now. And if you put all this extra soil in there, potting medium, and it's all wet, this root system cannot take up all that water because it's not got enough light to photosynthesize and process all and use all that water. So I'm only going to repot it into a pot that is basically the same size as the one it's already in. Hope that makes sense. So if you were up, and then when you do up pot, I always take these as an example. Let's say you have, if you have a, what is this, a 1 inch or whatever, you're not going to take this 1 inch and move it up to this 4 inch, right? It doesn't, even if it was root bound, you're not going up that high. You're going to kill your plant. So you're going to go up to the next size. So next size up, then you're going to go to the next size up, and then finally, you know, to the next size up. You just only go one size at a time up as a rule. There's always exceptions to every rule, as you guys all know. Okay, so that's up potting versus repotting. Up potting means you're going up in size, usually in the spring or when your plant starts actively growing again, unless it's extremely root bound at this time of year, then you could up pot. So those are the things I want to talk about. Humidity, lose the mister, get a pebble tray, lose the drainage material, lose the pot shards, you don't need them. Get a piece of screen and put it in the bottom of the pot instead, which I now have lost. Here it is, screen. But drill a hole, diamond tip drill bit or a masonry bit. This is a lot more expensive than a masonry bit, I'm not gonna lie to you, but it really does work very well. I've gone through a couple of them already. Sorry, there was a fungus gnat flying around. Got lots of those in this house. Okay, I call them fruit flies when my family's around. Oh, a fruit fly must be some rotten fruit someplace. Okay, so if you have any questions, I'm going to write a blog post about this. I'll put it up tonight, and you can find me on Facebook and Instagram and my website. You can contact me through there if you have any questions. I hope this helped a little bit, and you guys all have a great day. We all need a little green in our lives, remember, and go buy a plant and make yourself happy. Thanks.